Members, I intend to pull this bill down, but I am committed to each of you that we will continue this conversation during the interim. I appreciate the time that Sunset staff, TCOL, and others have put into this process, and I look forward to working with them in the future to modernize and professionalize our law enforcement in the state of Texas. With that, I move to postpone HB 1550 to June 3rd, 2021.
Members, you heard the motion. The objection. Mr. King, for what purpose?
Can I ask the gentleman a question?
The gentleman yield for a question.
I do.
He yields.
Thank you, and I'll try to frame this into a question. It's really kind of directed at you and Mr. White. But, Mr. Cyrier, I know you've worked a lot on this bill, as I know Representative White has worked on 1936, have you not?
Yes, we did.
And I know that even you and I had some policy disagreements on it. I know you know, I hope you know, which I guess my question, the tremendous deep level of respect that I have for you and affinity. And I know that, I hope you know that the work you've done on it, in my eyes, has always been, your objective is always to do what's best for Texas and best for law enforcement.
Absolutely. Everybody in this room, I can say with confidence, cares about our men and women in the law enforcement here in the state of Texas. And so that has always been our driving vision for this bill, for this sunset bill. You know, the timing of TCOL being up, I think was perfect. I know others were nervous about the subject matter and because of the issues that we have gone through, not only in our state, but of course across this nation. But I am very proud. I'm very proud of the work that we all have done. Ms. Thompson, as we have talked earlier, through the Black Caucus, worked with members of both sides of the aisle to get through this and appreciate the words that you have done, Mr. King, and helping us with your experience and background in law enforcement. As I look at Mr. Schaefer and some of the experiences and the work that he's done back home in bringing this bill to this point. But I want to state this. I'm very proud of all the work that we have done because we have seen a lot of good legislation, a lot of legislation that's actually passed through this floor already because of the work that we have done through the sunset process. And again, as I made in my remarks, we're definitely not done. There is some opportunities that we have in the interim as we do push this sunset bill to next session. We are going to continue to work on this. There's going to be many more discussions and many more opportunities for us to work together to do what's right and again to support our law enforcement here in the state of Texas.
Again, I know it's not a proper question from the back mic, but thank you for your courtesy in pulling this down, and I know we're going to do great work over the interim.
Thank you for your help.
Mr. Schaefer, for what purpose?
The gentleman yield for a question.
The gentleman yield for questions.
Absolutely.
He yields.
Chairman Cyrier, are you aware that I am grateful for all your work on this bill?
I am, and I appreciate the kind words that you've given me for that, so thank you.
Mr. Speaker, with the gentleman yield.
With the gentleman yield for questions.
This may be Chairman Cyrier, love on Chairman Cyrier time at the mic, but I just wanted to also thank you. So in the years I've served, especially with sunset bills, sometimes the author of the sunset bills have such ownership of the legislation that they just feel the need to pass it, even when consensus isn't reached, even when they're going to put the body in tough positions regarding votes. You've showed tremendous leadership in continuing to work on this legislation so that we can go back to our law enforcement officials and other stakeholders and said the process is working the way it's supposed to. But my friend, you're showing tremendous leadership because I know sunset bills are hard. And you almost feel compelled to do something because of all the hard work that went into it. But sometimes taking a breath is the right thing to do, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for those words.
Ms. Israel, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
With the gentleman yield?
I do.
He yields.
Rep. Cyrier, thank you for all your work. I'll jump onto that Cyrier fan club any day. But wanted to clarify, because this is a sunset bill and there's a lot of intricacies involved, we all appreciate the work that goes into it. What is the implication of not passing this bill this session, just for clarity and for communication on the floor?
So we do have some options, as many of the members know. We do have some options here to continue TCOL, which we will, to continue TCOL into the future. So we do have this oversight for our law enforcement. There is a couple of vehicles out there that we've already passed one of them through this body to put the sunset process for just 2 more years, though. As many of y'all read the report from the Sunset Commission, there is a lot of work to be done with our with TCOL. We've all been very open and honest about it. As I've stated, it's really an opportunity for us to modernize the law enforcement in the state of Texas. And again, I know we all care deeply. We all do care deeply for our law enforcement, and we want to give them the support and the tools so that they can continue to recruit and retain the best law enforcement officers for our state. So appreciate the kind words. I do appreciate the efforts. I know many members back in their districts have been working on this and working with their law enforcement agencies. And TCOL has 115,000 peace officer law enforcement licenses throughout the state that they're responsible for. And really, in truth, this is for them. We're here to support them and continue to do what we can to show that we care about the work that they are doing, not only today, but into the future.
And how many employees are at TCOL? Approximately?
That's been the issue. I appreciate you asking that. I believe it's less than 50 FTEs.
Say that again?
Less than 50 is what I believe it is.
For how many
TCOL.
officers and peace officers?
Yeah, 115,000 peace officer licenses. That actually makes up 2,700 different law enforcement agencies across the state, including our DPS, game wardens, anybody that has to do with law enforcement that carries that badge is underneath TCOL.
Well, given the tragic times that we're living in, the unique times that we're living in, where I know I've done a lot of work in the community around law enforcement improvement and accountability, and they want to be held to high standards. They want to be the best of the best. And I'm sorry that the bill isn't going to happen this session, and I thank you for your work.